are still, left to join, ask them to join quickly. We'll start at the right time. Once we have all of you, we'll get started for the session. It's 10:36. So I believe we should start.
Yes, Pooja, there are 42 members already.
Tisa, can you please mute yourself? Yeah.
There are 42 members already, Pooja.
Okay. And we
So
have how many registered? 50, right?
57, yes.
57. Then I guess
We should
couple
get
of you.
going.
Correct. We can get going. Also, my suggestion would be that whoever sees that one of their classmates are not there in the session, can you please just quickly uh, inform them so that they can also join the session from the very beginning. That way, we will all be on the same page as you set up the kit and discuss the details of this virtual internship, AI engineering week 2. All right, a quick 2 minutes we'll take, and then we'll start. In the meanwhile, as others are joining, I would like to discuss with you that I did went through your submissions. Some of you have actually done pretty well, and most of you have submitted. Most of the answers are correct. A couple of you may have a bit, I would say, tinkered with what the question was, went a bit away from what the questions were. So that's okay. I mean, it was a week one that we did a bit of prep. But the interesting thing is we did had most of you submit their solutions. A couple of you had troubles with submissions where they had interacted with us, and we do acknowledge uh, your quick attention to things, and we were able to get all the submissions like close to everyone submitting their solutions from week one. And I think I would like to congratulate all of you for this. And now I believe we would start our session for today. Uh, Pranav, is there anything that you would like to add, or we could resume the session?
Yes, Pooja. So, hi, participants. Good morning. So, we extend a warm welcome to the second live bootcamp focused on the fascinating field of AI engineering. And we were thrilled by the active engagement in last week's bootcamp, and we are eager to embark on another captivating session this week. Thank you. You can go on, Pooja.
Thanks, Pranav.
Thank you.
And yes, this is what makes this internship more interesting, even for me, as we deliver the kind of engagement that you guys give will help me also stay motivated. So quickly, I would request you all to log into the community.openweaver.com. That way, you will be also aligned to the platform, and a link would be shared with by one of my colleagues in the chat. So go ahead and click on the link once you have logged into the community platform. The link for today's session should be shared with you here in the chat. Let's go ahead, click on it. So this is your week 2 page. would be good to be logged into this page. And also, yeah, again, I would like to congratulate for the lovely responses that we received from all of you. And apart from that, the important part to remember coming this week, all of you will have to submit mandatorily your solutions by Monday, coming Monday. So we'll have a week 3 boot camp on Wednesday, but submissions have to be closed by Monday evening. We'll share the form and other details, obviously, during this session. We'll also give you time where you can discuss the questions from week 1. So we'll do that post we have discussed this week two's boot camp. So stay tuned for that. We'll discuss anything that maybe that you think you wish to discuss for the previous week's exercise. And now let's move forward and take on to this interesting, very, very interesting kit on fake news detection today. Also, I would like to inform you that you will receive your badges for week 1 for participating in an enthusiastic manner, and you are able to also accomplish. I mean, I could see most of you were able to go ahead and do most of the coding exercises. I would like you to just quickly, unmute yourself and give your feedback a bit as to did you find, I mean, you can put that in the chat also if you would like. Did you find the exercises hard? Were they medium level? Were they, you know, simple, easy, or they were good for a week 1 exercise? Just a bit of feedback from you guys that will help us also understand how you were able to, how what level did you felt was it good enough as for a week 1 exercise, or was it too simple, or was it way too much? Some feedback, please. Good afternoon, Rachula. You can unmute yourself if you would like. Just raise hand and just let me know. Did you feel that the exercises were way too much or were they good enough? Just a quick feedback.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
It was like medium level, so we get to know the new things
Yeah. That's that's
about,
that's
about the topic.
That's interesting. I believe that is something that you were mentioning was a bit helpful so that you could explore a little bit beyond what you just must have discussed in the bootcamp. Glad
Yeah,
that felt like you're able to learn new things. That's what the initiative is. Primarily more of a hands-on session, more of you're doing something practical. Thanks, Kajula, for your feedback. And others,
thank you.
it will be good to also put in the chat. That way, I also feel motivated that somehow you are able to align with the concepts that we are discussing. Somehow, even you are exploring different fields. That's it. Thanks, Nivedita. And now let's quickly get into today's session. So you know the structure and the format. How do we follow? We basically go ahead on through this community page. Here, if you scroll down, you see that you have entered the week 2. And we are going to discuss a AI-based fake news detector where we are trying to, control the flow of disinformation. We know it within us that every now and then a lot of misinformation is being circulated. And all this misinformation is influencing how we vote, how we behave, in fact. Last night I was reading an article where it was mentioning that a whistleblower has mentioned that Facebook has also become one of the reasons to how people are, let's say, the religious beliefs of the people have been influenced. And in fact, apart from the religious beliefs, a lot of our behavioral patterns as to how we work, what we choose as a domain of work, how we behave with one another has also been influenced. So it is very important that through artificial intelligence, we are able to build up an engine, a detector of sorts that can help us also check whether a certain news article that we are going through is real or fake. We'll talk about this in today's session. This is going to be a very key concept that you will learn, where we will go through a bit of fundamentals of natural language processing NLP. And then we will quickly go into how a complete model can be developed, how you yourself can try and fine tune the model a bit, So this is going to be a little bit level 2. So stay, stay energetic and just yeah, stay motivated throughout the session. So we have this pattern where we have a 10-minute tutorial where you want to do a refresher of sorts for the session today. You can quickly go through this current video that you can see on the page. Or else you can actually check out the entire session's video. We will add the video, post the session on this space here. Say if you want to look at the entire bootcamp session. But it is always good since we are also noting down your attendance for this session automatically through Teams. Then coming up to the major part, which is our practical exercise, which is our solution source for today. I did mention what a candy kit is. It is basically a solution source provided to you in a format where all the dependencies, everything will get set up onto your systems. The only thing you need to do is work around with the solution, right? So we will again follow the similar steps that we had followed in the last session for setting up our breast cancer prediction kit. We'll do the same to follow our fake news detection kit. Also, you will receive your level 1 batch by today. And if you are able to do your week 2 coding exercises, uh, especially you will have to do this because those are mandatory questions. And in fact, we are open to suggestions from you guys as well regarding anything that you think could be added, or you think that this was something that you liked about, or this is something that you think can be improved in the session. So these will be your coding exercises here. Then we will also check out some sample exercises. You know how you have to read support. You can simply, I guess by now all of you are signed up to the platform. You will have the chat button enabled. You will have this reply option enabled. If you go through the chat here, you see that there is this Christ University virtual internship wherein you post down your questions. Only request is that mandatorily submit your assessments, your coding exercises by Monday, coming Monday. Okay. So yeah, let's get into the session by setting up the kit. So for that, we will get into the practical exercise section. Here, click on the Candy One Click Kit. This takes you to the kit page where you have the details about what the kit is, what techniques are being applied into it. I'll already discuss it. So maybe later, if you would like, you can read all these details. And these are the instructions that need to be followed. But as we are setting these, as we are already working on alongside, you may skip these for now and follow what I'm already doing. So click on the one-click installer. This downloads a kit installer zip file. You go and check out what place onto your local system is it getting downloaded. Then right click and extract all. So a quick suggestion, a couple of you had troubles setting this kit by the UI part of Windows. You can also use the command line. Okay. So just say right click and extract all. Once you have the extracted folder, then double click, and within the extracted folder only, you should double click this batch file. And you will get an instruction from Windows since automatic download of dependencies will happen onto your systems. So check out this instruction for Windows and say more info, run anyway. So this will start setting up the kit onto your systems. It will ask for the required dependencies like it is asking me if you would like to set up the Visual Studio installer. Since I already have the setup open for you to showcase you, let the setup happen. Likewise, it always happens. I already have one of the setup for you. So I will showcase you how the Jupyter notebook will open in front of you. So this Jupyter notebook should open automatically for you. And we will discuss in detail how this confusion matrix is being mapped. What is the accuracy that we were able to fetch during the training part, as well as the accuracy that we were able to reach with the testing data set. So this is an interesting model of sorts, as it is able to let us put news articles, transform them, and state whether a particular news is fake or real. So just let the setup happen on your systems, minimize the screen. In the meanwhile, we will talk about the aligning concepts through the session. So we want to talk about, what this problem of fake news is. We see that during COVID, a lot of misinformation was circulated. People started getting, uh, people were very worried already because it was something that had never been witnessed by the current generation. In fact, apart from the vaccination that happened, uh, there was so much misinformation around how political parties would influence the what political party could influence the election. I would request whoever is on unmute to please mute themselves. Somehow I could hear some noise in the mic. So you guys know how all fake news is being circulated. Primarily Facebook, Instagram, your most popular social media platforms such as WhatsApp. They've become your own WhatsApp library, right? WhatsApp, uh, what should I say? Like they're known as a generation where, as technology enthusiasts, we should be aware that whatever is being circulated on social media needs to be regulated. Even Facebook has taken initiative where they mention that a lot of research would be done in order to avoid misinformation from being circulated on social media. However, Facebook being Meta, let's call it Meta, being the regulatory body for Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, hasn't been completely able to eradicate it. In fact, uh, yeah, I just mentioned that last night there was an article that I read where a whistleblower had opened up information on how a document mentions that the religious beliefs in India were manipulated. I mean, the people beliefs were manipulated. So we do have to contribute to it. Artificial intelligence has its own purpose where we work on a text classification problem. So currently the solution that we talk about today, it will be on text data. We do have a deep fake detection where we also try and check for fake images. Okay. We do check images with news which are fake as well. So that is another solution, which is generative AI based. Currently, for our AI engineering internship, we wish to discuss this fake news detection, where we tackle with the textual data and we try and apply a classification, binary classification problem by putting it into two categories. One, either the news article is fake or either the news article is real. Okay, so the data set has been picked up from Kaggle and the pre-processing is done using NLP technique. So natural language processing is a domain that is, I mean, that is the biggest boom today, right? The chat GPT and all the tools that we use, the chatbots, which are able to help us with our, problems on various platforms are all NLP based. Why? Because they are able to talk to us in the language we are able to understand. And the data and the training that we do to the machine, that requires initial stage one, let's say that requires some training, let's say some cleaning before we go ahead and put it into a supervised model and the model is being trained. So our goal is today we develop a model that classifies a given news article as either fake or real. Talking about the pipeline, how does this natural language processing pipeline works? So we do some quick cleaning at the stage one. Like let's say what we do, we remove some hashtags, we remove some extra, let's say a Twitter post has irrelevant at the rates and hash and there is some HTML content as well, which may not be necessary to be fed into the machine. So what we do that initial stage cleaning. Then we break the sentences into tokens by forming the word forms. The entire sentence, we just separate the words or tokens from the sentence. So even from those words, we try to remove the stop words. We try to remove the words which are not essential. So how do the machine know what words are not essential? So there are corpuses. What are corpuses? These are sets of data that have been, let's say, English language corpus. Multiple English language corpus have been uploaded by people, which can be used to differentiate, let's say, what are the essential words and what are the words which are not essential, like is, and, the. All these are not important for the question. So those stop words removal happen. And then after you have removed those, I'll showcase it with an example. So just a little, be a little patient, please. Then after that stopper removal, then your stemming and lemmatization. So even from that particular token or word, what you do, you get it to the root form. The, let's say, caring, cared, cares will have a root form care. Okay. But the interesting part about stemming and lemmatization is that these go hand in hand, and either you use one of them, you may use both, but sometimes it forgets to, when you do stemming and it is a rigorous one, then it forgets to, let's say, for cares, caring, and cared, the root form will be care, but it may cut it to car also. I mean, it will get to a form where the meaning of the word changes. So that you'll have to take care what kind of, what kind of data set you are working with. Accordingly, these techniques will apply. And then after that, we have applied your TF-IDF factorizer. So what is your TF-IDF factorizer? We will talk about it in a couple of slides. But before that, let's take an example to understand this pipeline. So supposedly, I've taken just two statements from, let's say, Twitter, where it's written London, hashtag London is the capital city of England, standing on the River Thames in the southeast of the island of hash Great Britain. So this is first being removed of any unessential symbols, etc. Then these two sentences are broken down into tokens, which is called your tokenization step. London is the capital city of England, and even your punctuation, your full stop is also taken as a token. Okay, remember this. Then coming to the stop word removal, what would be the stop words that would be removed here in the step 3? What would be the words that would be removed? Can anyone put it in the chat? London is the capital city of England. So what do you think are the words which are not important in this sentence? Let's see. It is saying London is the capital city of England. So what do you think are, okay? Correct. Yeah, absolutely. Shreyash, Rida, Jyoti, if I'm spelling your name wrong, Harsh, Mayur, perfect, awesome. This makes me feel good that all of us are on the same page. Correct. So the is the is the of all these will be removed, and then comes to your stemming and lemmatization. Currently, the sentence that we've taken didn't have much to stem or lemmatize. So we've taken an example. Let's say talks, talking, talked. All this would be stem to talk. But if we want to talk about, like, either we apply both or one, that is a decision that needs to be taken by the person who's checking out on the data set, or when they are building up the model. When you do stemming, there is a chance that the actual word is stemmed too much, right? It is being, then I gave you the example of caring, cared, and cares. Caring, cared, cares, all should the root form should be care. However, stemming may cut it down to car. So lemmatization sometimes, or like most of the times, retains the actual language word or retains the meaning of that word while getting to the root form. So now coming to the TF-IDF vectorizer, your term frequency inverse document frequency vectorizer. What is this TF-IDF vectorizer? I already have my text. I've done my cleaning. I've done my NLP pipelining. I've prepared my text in a way that now I can pass it into my model. But even before I pass it, or let's say do the training for my model, what I want to do, I want to check the importance of a word. I want to check that from, like, I want to check my news article. What words are most important? What words are most meaningful? Okay. So I want to check out the most meaningful word. The frequency of the terms multiplied by the inverse term frequency, we get a vector, a mathematical vector, where this TF-IDF vector helps us in measuring the importance of word by comparing the number of times a word has appeared in a single document with the number of documents in which that word has appeared. Okay, just understand word coming in a single document, and let's say I have multiple documents, multiple similar you know documents. How many times has that word occurred in those multiple number of documents? That will help. So this measure works like this. First, it checks in a particular document, or let's say a particular news article, and then also checks it with other news articles that you may have fed in the data set to calculate the importance of the words. And accordingly, we are able to say whether the news article is fake or real. So we will employ the name-based algorithm. Why? Which is simple, intuitive. It is also very time efficient. So it can be primarily used for classification problems, and it is based on your probabilities-based theorem. You can make quick predictions of this model. It can be used for spam filtration to state whether a particular email is spam or ham. Then it is used in sentimental analysis also, if you would like, and also classifying articles that we are doing today. So how does this name base help? So name base will also help us find the probability that a particular event may occur given the probability and another event has already occurred. So what we are trying to say basically here, when we say that our model, we want to find whether a particular news article is fake or real, right? So when certain words are present, already present in that news article, our model should be able to state that that news is fake or real based on the set of words that are present. So if certain condition is fulfilled, has already occurred, the words are already present, then my model will be correctly able to say with a certain probability that this news article is fake or real. So we do have to stay in that boundary of the probability, uh, the model being able to probabilistically say a news article being fake or real. So the model that we use today, it has nearly 5,000 instances, and let's say 5,000 rows of news articles. And it is a data set which is supervised, where we already have the target expected outcome. So the fake ones are labeled as 1, and the real ones, the real news articles are labeled as 0. So with this discussion, I quickly also want to take you about a little bit about open source, then how open source has revolutionized the way we are discussing today. Everything is open for use to everyone and anyone. Only thing is you keep contributing to the community. So you don't have to waste a lot of time. All these kits and all these solutions that we are providing you are all open source. So when we say open source, you go through a solution that whenever you are working with something which is open source, you check out whether it is helpful for you, supportive enough for you to develop an application or do your learning, whether it is secure enough or not, should not hamper anything that is there in your system. What's the quality of that particular solution? In fact, one important thing that as students we don't consider is the license agreement. So very important that you take care of the license agreement part, whether your particular open source repository that you are downloading for use is permissive. If it is not permissive, then you will have to go by the rules, because once you make that application, for commercial use, then you may have to go through some legal issues, right? So these are the important things that you may consider when you are working with some open source solutions. All this you can find on candy.openviewer.com. So now let's get quickly into our solution. I hope most of you may have reached here by now. But before I, discuss this solution, we have our coding exercises also lined up. So I'll quickly do a very simple coding exercise with you guys. For that, I will open a new notebook. Oh, I do have multiple pages. I'll close these. Yeah. So I will see that on your page itself, I've given a sample exercise called spam filtering, which is for removal of stock words. So I'll show you how you can also do this exercise. So go on to candy.openweaver.com. I can type it. I can go from here itself. Also, a quick question. How many of you were able to use Candy for submitting solutions? Were any of you able to use Candy suitably for submitting solutions? Oh, interesting. Shiva says he had. What about others? Okay, that's nice. I got responses from two of you. Anyone else who Nivedita was also able to use? So this is very interesting. We are actually improving the platform a little bit more to make it more friendly and engaging for you guys, where you're able to find. I mean, you have to put the right keywords, right? And you're able to find the solution quickly. Okay, coming back to finding my solution now. So let's say spam filtering, and I want to do the spam filtering for stock words. And I hit enter, and then I say code snippets, and I just see that my first solution is what I quickly want to pick up, copy paste here, and just use it for a demo purpose, right? So I see that the import has been made necessarily. So it also mentions what is the dependent library. Okay. If required, you may have to install it. So for installing, it is also saying yes, copy this and paste it here in the notebook itself. So let's say I already have my import for NLTK. Then my data is here. Correct? Whatever data you put. From this particular statement here, ham, and how will you do that process? And some spam, urgent, please call from landline, blah, blah, blah. This is the cash luxury. And it is mentioning about some Canary Islands holiday, await collection. All right. So we do have some Gribish as a emoticon as well data. Then I'll first remove this. This was an output that was also copy pasted. So I'll remove that, and then I'll come to the part where I just want to check that whatever I'm putting as a label text one in my data, I just want to loop it for this data. I want to calculate or extract the tokens for tokens in NLTK.word token. So from the NLTK library, also I already have my word tokenize, within which I'll have my text, this data. And if that token dot lower not in the corpus, okay, I think I was mentioning NLTK.corpus. So if it is not in the corpus, dot stop words, then we of what stop words? English language, okay? So English language from the corpus, we are trying to get the stop words. And if it is not present, we will just filter the required tokens. Means let just put the stop words aside. Just give me the remaining tokens. Okay. So let's say control enter. All right. So it has removed this ham, which it may think as a stop word. It has removed the and, how, you, will. Okay. All of this has been removed as something which is not important. It is a stop word, but it has kept this, which is a comma, and then princess, your punctuation, your colon, the comma here itself, right? And then again, it has removed this urgent. It has kept please call the number. Obviously, it's important. From it has removed landline. It has kept the amount. It has kept all or is moved luxury for the islands. Holiday await collection. So can you see how we were able to just remove stop words essentially by picking up the right words and just doing some search and seeing if we are able to get some code snippets quickly there. So very, very simple. I just had to do some tinkering where it's like searching on the platform to change the code also, right? You can't just, not always you will get the exact code. Sometimes you may have to clean up the code a bit, being your own developer yourself. So yeah, do that and you see you can add whatever text you would like. Okay. So now I get back to my main solution for today. And as I discuss our main solution for today, somehow it doesn't go to the entire screen. Yeah. So what are we doing in the current solution? I hope all of you are able to, how many of you are able to set up the kit? I hope all of you are able to set up the kit. Can we have a quick raise of hands? Awesome. What about the other people? 20 of you? 21? What about Java and Kishan? 25 of you. Siddhi, are you able to set it up? If not, I think you'll have to follow the automatic, directly putting it up through the command line. And Rishita, Adil says, I get the message. The system cannot find the path specified. So, okay, I'll have to check it individually with the log file with you, Adil. Let's take it up in a couple of minutes. While I discuss the solution, I just wanted to check. Anyone else is getting a similar error? So this message should be, Adil, is your C drive free and there is space in it? A very important thing is that there should be space in C drive while you're setting it up. Apart from that, you should extract the file suitably. Just don't quickly, start setting it up from the batch file in the zipped folder. Extract it, follow the setup as we have discussed. C drive should be free so that there is space. And then if this, is it still loading in? Okay. Okay, that's not a problem. So Windows 7 on other configuration, it may take some time, especially when you are on mobile data as well. Okay, 24 of you are able to do. Good to go for now. We'll have to discuss the skit and then we'll take up the problems at the end of the session. So fake news.csv. What are we doing? We are giving an input file fake news.csv. So most of you, the folder should lie. Let me showcase the folder. So it should be in the C. So important thing is your C drive should be having a good decent amount of space, right? Then within the candy kits, you go to the fake news detection. Here you would see within this fake news detection, you have your fake news file. Okay. All right. You have your fake news file. This is your text. And this is the labels. Okay. So let's say this is the news article, some data, right? Some news article, and then it has been labeled as fake. This news article labeled as fake. This one again labeled as real. So then similarly, we have some. So this is a bit of repetition, but yeah, some 5,000 nearly around rows that are being used for uh, training the data. Okay. Thanks everyone for raising the hands. You can lower them down now. And this was the input file that I just showcased you, fake news.csv. And then we will also use a fake news test.csv file, which is also there in the folder itself. Okay, fake news test, which is our another CSV file. Okay, we have given an option to, you can use your own CSV file. If you have a data set which is also labeled, just use it here. Correct? Use the test file also here itself. Then this is the test data ratio. So 80% we have kept for training, 20% we have kept for testing. And we have actually hidden the code entirely. What we are doing from detect, import fake news detection. So I'll showcase you where in the folder you will see a code completely there, right? And what we are doing, this fake news detection file, this is the code, the fake news detection, the entire class which has the entire detailed code. What we are giving here, the input file, which was fake news.csv, and also giving the test data ratio. So what is happening from the input file? I'm saying 80% is kept for train. All that is happening here. We just check out this. Then we say fake news.detect. So with this, now I'll take you to the detect. So for your detect, sorry about this. Yeah, we go back. If you go back in the folder, fake news detection, you will find a detect file here, a Python file here. So this is your file, which is which contains the complete code where we have done all the essential imports, imported the corpus, from the NLTK library, the pickle for loading and saving the model, the port stemmer for stemming, importing the stop words, the technique, the TF-ID vectorization that is used for converting your text into an essential mathematical form. Okay. And we have used the naive Bayes as the algorithm, multinomial naive Bayes. Okay. Then we have done import for the train test split, etc. So all this is present here. Then you come, you read your input file, you divide it into a ratio such that 80% is, I mean, from this test data ratio that is being fetched, 80% is kept for training. So now we first do the pre-processing of the input text. What do? You first do the tokenization. How do you do the tokenization? You just extract the essential tokens. Okay. You just extract the words, tokens, then you remove the stop words from it. Same code, okay? Words or two of our words in, if not in SW is your stop words, then the same would be saved in the clean text. And then after that stemming is done, so we call your code stemmer for it. Then take an empty list and underscore data. Within this empty list is then we are doing what? We are just getting to some stem text such that that stem text will have the essential only the root forms. Okay. Then comes in your idea vectorizer, your term frequency vectorizer. So what does your term frequency vectorizer does? This term frequency vectorizer is then used to, let's say, what do you do? You want to get the most important of words, right? Even from the tokens that you have gathered. So you will apply it on the data. Then you use a compute matrix method. So this compute matrix is what is used for the prediction part, the classification report, the confusion matrix. Okay. So first of all, we print the results of your confusion matrix by your actual values as well as the predicted values. Then you display your confusion matrix, plot it, and then showcase it. Let me get to the solution also parallelly. We have a solution here. So now within this fake news detect is what I was trying to say. When we are pre-processing the data, what it is doing 4986. These are the number of rows. What are these? These are your this detect function, right? Pre-processing the data. What it is doing? You are printing the shape of your data frame. So after you have printed the shape, now you're checking if there are any duplicates. If there are duplicates, then drop it. If there are any's or there are rows which are not having any values or there are some uh, empty rows, all of that what you want to do, you just want to drop them. So if there were initially duplicates, then it got removed. Then you just have your 4749. Similarly, there were no rows with empty or no values. So then 4749 and 4749 is same number of rows left. The shape of your transform after training is this. So 4749 and some words which are 61,653. Correct? Then you apply your self.tf on the pre-processed text. This pre-processed text. Okay. You apply on that and then you check out, this is where we were showcasing the size, the 61,000 words which we have extracted are those words which we are saying have been that with using the TF-IDF, the term and their frequency based on the TF-IDF processing that has happened. Next, what we have done, splitting the data into training and testing. Okay. Next, we have done the splitting. So we call that train test split. We discussed this in the last session as well. Here we give the features, df, the self.df.label, the size of your text size, like what is the size that you want to keep. So for that, we are using this test data ratio. And then the random state. Again, you can keep the random state, change it also so that you're able to tinker with the accuracy and get to a better accuracy. Then you get all your X train, X test, Y train, Y test, and you print training the model on train set. So this training the model on train set has showcased here. Then comes in your naive Bayes algorithm. So naive Bayes or your multinomial naive Bayes is more important, where you have this hyperparameter called alpha. So you can set different values for alpha. You can check out your naive Bayes and then accordingly uh, just see if you can change it to 0.00, 0.01, 0.05, sorry, 0.5, 0.2. What helps you in getting to a higher accuracy? That way, you will be also able to showcase that same accuracy in the testing data set. Then we fit the model on our X train, Y train. After we have we have saved the model in a file. We have said that the training with Naive has been successfully completed. Then we showcase your classification metrics for training set. So this is important. This I will showcase you here. So if you see that as we were able to pre-process the data using the NLP steps, your NLP processing pipeline, and that then we applied our Naive Bayes. First, we did the TF-ID vectorization in the part of your processing the data. Then we went to your Naive Bayes algorithm, did the training with that algorithm for classification as real or fake for your news article. We then try to map we should try to map the results in a form of a confusion matrix. So how do you check a confusion matrix? So there is a true label, there is a predicted label. So let's say 0 was real. So a new news that is real and has been correctly predicted as real. So there were such 2,246 which were real and predicted as real. There were some 57 which were real, which were real, but they haven't been predicted correctly. 57 such. Similarly, if we talk about fake, there were some 215 which were fake, but they were predicted as real. So the thing is, currently with our model, we are able to get to a average accuracy score of 93%. The weighted average score of F1 score, accuracy, all of that we're able to get to 93% with the training. And then when we come to the testing of the model, somehow our accuracy accuracy metrics hasn't performed very well. But then with the real-time data set that has been picked up from, CAC, 77% accuracy is still a good measure, where we see that these 45 and 171 values are in error. So then what you do in the final one, now I use a file called test file. Okay. Now you use a file called test file. What you do in the test file here, you say that, see, if you go into the folder, this is your data set. This is the fake news data set that has been kept for testing. And then comes in this test spread. So this is the one that is the predicted one based on the testing data. It was the this one. So this one is what basically the after you run the model and you pass the test file. What was your test? This fake news text. If I may, currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 I have. If you want, we can even increase the file. I'll delete. This is the file that is going to get generated after you have run the model. And this test spread, let me showcase you the results also. This test spread for these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows, what it is trying to say that the model has been trained in a way where with a 97% probability, it is able to state this particular news article as real. With a 96% probability, it is able to state this news article as fake. So the point is that somehow you will have to increase or enhance the accuracy of the model a bit when you pass in this test file here. So currently we had just some 6 rows, and again the same words which we have used for training our data set, right? Which said that if these words are present, then a particular news article is fake, or else the particular news article is real. All right. So this measure, if you are able to understand, this is able to state with 97% chance that this particular, our first row, our first row is having a real, it's a real article, and with a 97 probability, a model is able to state. So there is this, you know, the remaining is for fake probability of being fake. Similarly, with 92%, it is able to say real. At the last, it is able to say that a particular news article is fake with 96% probability. Uh, this is the column for fake. This is for, sorry, this is the column for real, and this is for fake. One is your fake. If it is saying that label is 1, then it means it is fake. If it is giving a label as 0, then it is real. So this is a decent one, a very interesting solution that is being discussed. Most of the code, this is something that you need not have to worry much about. We did discuss most of it. What portions you can tinker is, let's say alpha is something that you can tinker. Random state is something you can tinker. If you would like, you can tinker the entire, let's say naive base is used. You may change the complete model and also try. You can go for some other model also if you think that can enhance the accuracy. So the choice is left out to you. This is what you can do and submit as solution in the kit. Also, with this solution that we discussed, we have added the sample exercise here. If you would like, you can also check this exercise by clicking on this link. To directly put across the search link result here. What keywords are used and what results have been showcased here. So that's also another thing. There is a sample exercise 2 as well as sample exercise 3 that you can check in yourself as well. So now we would like to go ahead and talk a bit about the issues that you guys have encountered. Or first of all, let's take up some doubts that you may have with the current solution. A couple of you have mentioned that you are able to get ahead and set up the kit. And apart from this, kit that we have discussed, you can also put in your questions or doubts for week 1. So we will also be sending you code snippet links that you can use. I mean, that will be acting as solutions for the last week's questions also. If you would like, you can go ahead and check out. So nothing is a mandate, right? It's not a mandate. It's the only thing is that it's primarily aligned with your interest as to how you can go ahead, search for code snippets, use a simple snippet and get to the solution as well. Okay, so please lower down your hands. All of you. The 7 people who have raised their hands, they can lower these their hands down, and we can take up some quick questions that you may have. Adil, let's get to the part where you were facing an issue with the system cannot find the path specified. Would you like to showcase by sharing your screen if there is a problem that is still there? Adil, you're here?
Ma'am, I think mine is the memory issue.
Memory
I
issue?
have, yeah.
So then please clean up a bit and then set it up.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Then it is good. Okay. And anything apart from that? Any questions that you may have?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Uh, from today's solution, if you feel that was a bit that you would want to revisit again, so we did discussed how you can go ahead and revisit. You can check it out here, right? You can check out with a 10-minute refresher. If not, you can check out the entire recording. Also, as we go ahead and check out our week 2, so this will be your week 2, where again you will have to enter your basic information. I'll enter a couple of things. And here's the case. So, can you function this as then you would have the standard 3 MCQ questions that you may have to answer. And then comes in your code exercise. So a bit of your sample that you may have to use. A simple question where these are your questions which are somehow aligned to NLP primarily. And same, you could go around and check out the candy.openview.com to go ahead and able to submit these solutions. So post you add your file here, then you also have to run the kit related exercise and share your screenshots. All right, so this is from your week 2 that you have to go through. Is there anything that you would want to discuss apart from this? Please do let me know. If not, I guess I hope last week, is there anything that you would want to discuss from the last week's exercises? We will send you an email as well with the link of the complete kit. So let me demonstrate you one of the solutions so that as you check out the email with the solutions, you're able to understand it yourself as well. So let's say this is one of the coding exercise and you just had to merge it with the left join. So we'll share a link with you, right? What you got to do if you, as you click on the link, we've discussed a bit details on what what data frame merge and how you can use left auto join in pandas. Again, a description of it. We will showcase you how you can quickly put up the code and the outcome as well. Also, we have put down the steps that you can follow to add the code as well as the outcome, how to reach to the code and the outcome, right? So you just have to follow the steps. And also, how did I found this snippet? Just had to make a search pandas left outer join in candy. Okay. So if you make this search, then you will be able to get to this solution here, copy it. If required, make changes. You can check out the code also here and then the outcome also here. So this is how you can follow through with the solutions that we will send you if you would like to check a little bit more on the week 4 exercises going forward and how you can also better utilize candy.openvivo.com. All right, I guess this is it from my end. Thank you so much, guys. If there's anything else that we can discuss, do let us know.